All right, it is 7 PM. I hereby call this meeting of the Londonderry Heritage Commission to order. This 25th day of September 2025. First order of business is to approve minutes from our prior meeting. I believe we have a couple of corrections.
Mr. Chair, on the third line down, under call to order, is to add Jim Butler, who was an alternate also. Jim didn't make the first vote, but he was present, so. Instead of chair appointed, it should be John Mahan instead of Chris Kenny on the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down. And the vote was okay. The only other thing I had is on the two last motions coming out, that should be 7-0-0. It didn't record a vote at all there, so. And I'm sure the minute taker here, this is not John taking the minutes, so.
It is not. It was actually, so unfortunately, we thought that the cameras were still gonna be on when we came back into the room after the last one, and they had already shut off. So I was going by memory there.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah. Our memories agree, so.
All right. Vote reported.
Did you say on line 3?
Yeah, line 3, after David Ellis is add Jim Butler, who's an alternate that was present also.
Bottom of that page,
Yeah,
it said Jim Butler joined.
yeah, he joined, so actually he was at the meeting, but you have to,
Okay.
yeah, the only trouble is you have to look, you read into the minutes to,
I'm not sure what's proper.
yeah.
Okay.
Same. That's how we got where we are. Okay. Any other corrections? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that we adopt the minutes as presented and as amended.
All those could I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Amended minutes approved.
And
Do we have any abstentions? I got one. Anybody else not at the last meeting?
Uh-oh, I forget, was I? No, I was here.
Yeah, you were at it, so.
I think it's just me, okay.
Okay.
And one thing I did forget, Mr. Chair, was to appoint, because we have one vacant spot, and to appoint an alternate to vote in that spot.
Okay. I believe, Mr. Butler, you're our only alternate.
Okay.
Does that,
And David is, David E.
Mr.
I was in a couple of times before, so.
does that mean the two women are coming back? You were gonna question two that weren't, are they not
Yeah,
coming back?
Kristen Endyke is not, because her work schedule has changed, and
Oh, okay.
taking care of the kids.
But there were two oh, was
There
that
two-
one
there
of
was
them?
Laura and then Megan.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Megan had contacted, I think Chris also, myself. We let her know when, the next meeting was, so.
Okay, yep.
We haven't seen her.
Yeah, so we think Megan is still interested. However, we haven't heard from Laura, so.
So,
Okay.
it's actually, we're 7-0-0 technically on the minutes, so we have a full complement.
701, my friend. Abstain.
Yeah, 6-0-1, wouldn't it? Yeah, for total of 7.
7, 8.
8, so it's
Oh, but you
701.
got two alternates here, and one alternate is voting now.
And you know what? I should know better. I should know better.
That's okay.
Okay. Approval of minutes. Okay, next item is applications for advisory input to the planning board. First up, we have a multifamily residential site plan for 60 residential units in the commercial 2 zone, 196 and 198 Rockingham Road, tax map 15, lot 66 and 66-1, S&S Metal Recycling, Inc., owner, and Gino Bernard, applicant.
Good evening. My name is George Chadwick. I'm with Bedford Design. Here tonight with me is Corey Bouchard with Warren Street Architects. Here tonight to talk about a 60-unit development at 225 Rockingham, or excuse me, 196 Rockingham Road. It is a project that contains 3 buildings, 20 units each building. It's a 3-story structure, about 40 feet tall. We did originally go to the planning board back, I'm gonna say 8, 9 months ago, and one comment that we got from the board was that they really wanted the project to look like some sort of courtyard, where we have the 3 buildings that are shape of a courtyard. Now, do we have the plans that I submitted? Today's the only day I don't come with a board. I usually come with boards and everything just in case,
So
and
we do,
you see them?
we can see them.
Okay, perfect, that's all
But
we
we don't
need.
have anybody
I
presenting
got
on the
copies here in
screens.
front of us, so
Okay.
as long as you guys can see them, that's fine. So the project is designed in a sort of a circular loop roadway or driveway around with the 3 20-unit buildings. The rear of the buildings all face the center of the lot in a sort of a courtyard type arrangement. There is walkways that go around the front of the buildings and in the rear of the building to sort of a center gathering area. The project doesn't disturb any stone walls, so there is no stone walls that we disturb. There aren't any on the property, so there's nothing to disturb. As part of the site, there will be a bus stop out by the road for the school buses, not for MBTA buses, but for the school buses. There'll be a little kiosk for the mailbox out near the road. The overall theme for the project, and I believe it's a well-landscaped project, you've got as part of the full set of plans that I submitted, we have the landscape plans. It's an extremely well-landscaped project, being what was the PZ zone before it was removed, little 28 overlay zone. So I think from an architectural / aesthetic standpoint, I think it's a really well-designed project. I'll let Corey talk a little bit about the building, and we're here to answer any questions the board may have.
Yeah, so as George said, I'm Corey from Warren Street Architects. We have a 3-story building, roughly 7,000 square feet per floor. There are multiple entrances with a main entrance on the front of the building. We are showing a Pacific blue cedar siding for the top half and a herringbone board and batten on the bottom with white PVC trim. I measured 46'1" to the ridge at the highest point. And that's really all I have for a summary. Do you guys have any questions?
Kind of going for like a barn dominium style with
Yep.
this? Yeah. Can you tell us about the materials?
Yeah, so what I have shown here is they're CertainTeed products, so they're vinyl. The top half is a cedar shingle style in Pacific blue, and then below is a vinyl board and batten in herringbone white. The windows and the trim would also be colonial white. So very resilient, easy to maintain siding choice.
4/1 lights is accurate for what your plan is?
Yes, at the moment.
For the, okay, and the color's more or less pretty
Yep.
accurate to reality?
Yeah, it depends on what printer you're using, but if it's on the screen, it should be
Yes.
closer. I know that looking at these two here, and his is a little bit different than mine, but it's close.
Do you have a particular manufacturer or name for the color?
The colors come, those colors come from the CertainTeed product line. So Certainteed is the brand
Oh, the
of
name.
vinyl.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
They have a name for the color that it's gonna be?
Pacific blue
Oh, okay.
and herringbone white and colonial white.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Have you thought about including any shutters? It seems a little stale.
Certainly could be considered. Yep. I think that would dress it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little pizzazz in it.
Matter of fact, that other project that's down near Page Road, I requested them and they made that change.
Yep.
Just takes that institutional look.
Yeah,
away from it.
does look a little monolithic,
Kinda.
right, with the windows.
Makes it a little bit more subtle.
that would be awesome.
I've gone through the plans, I mean, if we can get the shutters on it.
Yep.
I'd make a recommendation to the planning board.
Thank you.
To any of the board members that are interested, landscaping starts on sheet 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, they do have purple lilacs in there.
They're,
Yeah,
oh, they're white though, I think.
we got white
Am
ones.
I right?
What's that, lilacs?
Lilacs.
They are, yeah, they're, yeah, I think that says white.
Yep.
Yeah, they're white lilacs.
Well, growing up, where I grew up, we had white and purple.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
My grandfather had to have both.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, the other tree specimens are sugar maples, red maples, oaks. For evergreens, there's red cedar, juniper type tree, bushes, trees. Trying to read this, I apologize. Red cedar, mountain laurels, spruce, Alberta spruce, white spruce. I guess we've got white pine in there too. Like white pine, but there's some white pine in
Yeah,
there.
white pines usually, they tend to lose the lower branches. So
Right.
we tend not to get too excited about that.
Mr. Chair, I have one more question for them.
Go ahead.
You have 3 8x8 concrete pads that are in the middle of the plan. I'm curious upon what they're for.
Benches. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that too.
I see the benches, but on the walkway, but there's 8x8 pads. I'd say trans pads,
One's a transformer pad,
transformer pads. Gotcha. Thank you. What?
so it looks like there's one transformer pad for each of the 3 buildings. There's 3 of them, right? 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's what it is. the
Awesome.
transformer.
Just wasn't sure upon the abbreviation there. Thank you. Do you guys have any idea about what you're going to do with the middle circle?
At this point, we don't. I figured coming to the Conservation Commission and the Heritage Commission, you guys would have some ideas.
I may recommend some sort of playground structure if you can. You're going to have 60 units here. There's probably bound to be have some kids there if you can get at least one
It is,
climbing and a slide of sorts,
yep,
or
there's
or
the
swings.
whole back there is between the buildings is pretty flat,
Mm-hmm.
so there's plenty of field area, throw a football,
Mm-hmm.
play baseball, or not play baseball, but throw a baseball. But we could possibly add a swing set, maybe not in the center of that.
Yeah, maybe not in the center, but
Maybe
maybe
somewhere
between
else in the
the
grass
first
area.
building and the circle area might be a good
Sure.
area.
Lighting all LED?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
actually, I see it now.
well, dark sky compliant, full cutoff lights.
Well, only thing I didn't see on the plans was a sign.
It is there.
So,
Oh, is it there?
there's a signage plan, but it's mostly like wayfinding.
Oh, it is? That's,
Do you guys have any kind of monument or anything that you plan to put up?
There will be, at this point, it's still out for design. I will present it to the planning board. I can come back and present it to this board too, if you'd like. But,
Yeah, please. We
it-
typically
it
like
is
to
out
look at
to-
design.
it's Still out to design right now as we speak.
There's generally a preference for the monument-type sign rather than something on posts.
Okay.
As you can see on the plan, we do have a location, I just don't have a rendering of it.
Do any of the kitchens have venting over the stove?
That particular detail hasn't been ironed out yet. We haven't selected appliances, but code typically requires that there's fresh air makeup. Sometimes it's done with the kitchen stove, sometimes it's done on the ceiling above.
You do have exhaust directly outside
Yes, there will
for the
be
vent
there will
over the
be-
stove.
fresh air makeup and mechanical venting.
yeah, that's not, yeah, that's just.
All right, so far I've got suggestions to use shutters, and we would need you to return with a design plan for the monument sign before that could get approved. Any other comments, questions, suggestions from the board? Okay,
Just one, had you had any thought about maybe alternating the upper color on the three buildings to have three variations?
I had not. I had not considered that. Is that something that,
Ultimately, it's something I think the planning board will decide, but it might get a little away from the institutional look a little bit.
so on the top half, a different color per building?
Thinking that might be of interest to me. I don't know how the rest of
No,
the
I
board.
don't,
No, you don't like that.
no. We had stuff
Might
going
be-
on
might-
Woodmont.
Might be a little too much, but
Blue?
Well, I was trying to dance away from the blue without saying the word blue.
Oh,
Well,
no.
I think, in my opinion, how intense is the blue? Is it a sky blue or soft blue? Or is it a bold blue that's
It's-
gonna stick out like a sore thumb?
It is a bold blue.
A bold blue.
Maybe the
Looking at the
compromise would be an alternate to the blue,
Yeah.
but all one color that's not blue.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Cause that's just gonna, that blue is gonna go pink, you know?
yeah, that's so the renters will know which building they're in by the color,
Yeah.
or the shade of the color.
We can certainly take a look at that. I'm coming
Yeah.
back with a sign anyways, so.
So, like all beige or tan, is that what you were thinking, or I don't know what we're getting at?
Oh, no, just, I'm looking like what John had suggested, different shades of blue. the upper
Yeah.
Oh,
part.
to offer us or to choose from?
Yeah,
Oh,
soft
okay, that-
blue.
You know, it's an easier sell a lot of times if you can bring in a sample on
Yeah.
something like that.
that would be also very helpful, yeah.
Okay.
Planning board. What's mine?
May I ask the board, are you guys meeting every month now, or still every 2 months?
Every other.
Every 2 months. However,
We,
what is your timeline for the project?
I haven't received the RC comments back yet, so You know, I'm looking to get in front of the planning board probably in November. If you're not until the end of November, like we are at the end of September, I think you'd be after that meeting, that planning board.
Correct. However, the things that we're asking for the most part, I think you can submit these and we could look at them outside of a meeting and give our
Opinion back.
recommendations back to the board, right?
Sure, that'd be great.
So that way you don't have to wait until the end of November to come before us again.
Sure,
That would be great.
Try to be accommodating.
sure. No, we appreciate that.
A lot of three bedrooms in this. Is 50% three bedrooms?
I think in this one, there was
Yeah, I thought there was more.
more one-bedrooms, I think.
Oh, really?
I think, if I'm not mistaken. What do you got on there?
I have more one bedrooms.
One bedrooms?
Than threes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two, 3 bedrooms per floor.
So,
Okay. I've added, looking to see a softer blue or perhaps a different color altogether for the top half of the building.
Okay.
And if you can include that in your design submission between now and when you plan to be in front of the planning board in November,
Sure,
we'll try to take a look at it and get them our comments.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, with no further comments from the board, we'll give our recommendations to the planning board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the board's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to our next application, we have a multifamily residential site plan for 40 residential units in the commercial 2 zone at 225 Rockingham Road, tax map 15, lot 126, Gen X Construction Group LLC, owner and applicant.
Good evening again. My name's George Chadwick with Bedford Design. Here tonight representing Gen X. This particular property is down the street from the one we just spoke at. It's at 225 Rockingham Road. Currently, there's a house on the property, and I know we haven't noticed it for tonight, but the fire department would like to burn that house down. So I know you're now the Historic Commission as well. So I would hope to come back to you very shortly after we've noticed that to discuss the burning of that particular house.
Do you know how old it is?
Yeah.
What-
I think it was 1929.
Okay, so it's gotta go through demo delay, right?
It's on a demo delay.
yeah,
It is. They've submitted for a demo permit, it's on a demo delay, so.
Where is this again?
220, right where Smith Road. Rockingham Road goes toward Manchester, the big
Yep.
swooping curve. Smith Road is a shortcut between Mammoth, so
Yep.
just before that, there's
Storage,
an old house.
Yeah.
Sheds are,
But
and then,
remember demo delay
Is
coming
that near the
doing
It's
that?
gonna be
Truck
75
car.
years.
I know the,
lot there?
Oh,
the state has
what
the
lot?
Morrison School listed.
Storage, oh, there's
No, it's right next to Highland Cold Storage.
you know the freezer warehouse?
You know, the big
that's over
freezer
there?
warehouse?
Right next door.
We haven't seen that.
Next
We
lot.
haven't seen that house. We haven't seen that house yet.
kind of set back a little bit. I really haven't, I have to be honest, I haven't paid attention
It
to it.
is, it's set back. I have it up on the
Yeah,
map
it
right
sits
here.
back from the road, you don't even, it was all
The
overgrown.
freezer warehouse,
It is
until,
it's this
set
one
back.
that
Our
sits
client
back here.
came
So
and
you don't
cleaned up
really
the
see
front of
it.
it a little bit to get temp power and things in for
It still have to go through demo delay,
future
doesn't it?
project.
Yeah, he
Drive
said
by
it's,
now,
it's
you
already
see
on
it.
a demo delay now.
Is it occupied?
I haven't seen it.
No, it hasn't been occupied for a
Oh,
while.
the-
Oh, okay.
Well, one of the things we're gonna, well, we're supposed to discuss if Kelly was here, is the demo delay responsibility of the Heritage Commission.
Oh, no, I don't. I think you should go to the historical.
Yeah, I guess one thing is, see if it's on our list of historic properties.
Yeah, this one I don't believe really has any historical significance to, you know, to it. And it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, it wasn't noticed. Didn't know that we had to until a couple days ago.
Oh,
So, otherwise, I'd be talking about it tonight too. So,
So you are looking to submit a design plan for something that you want to build there after that
after the
building is
house comes
demolished?
down, correct. It's a 40-unit project. If you've all driven down next to Home Depot and seen their project that's being built now on the left-hand side of the road,
oh, yeah,
as you
that's
go
on the,
down, if the board
Hannaford side.
recalls, I personally didn't come in front of you, the owner did, or the owner's representative did, and discuss the project. It's the exact same building. It's each of the sections of the building is sort of a two-tone. It's either, you know, light, and they are light blues. They are gray. It's a combination of gray up and down, cream colors,
That's better.
light browns. I wish I had a color for you in front of you, but the owner didn't have one available at the time I made the submittal. It is like I said, 40 units. Two of the buildings contain 12 units each. And one of the buildings is a 16-unit building. The furthest building away from the road is a 16-unit building. There is a small section in the northwest corner of the site where drainage is being discharged that we do need to relocate a small portion of wall. That wall will be used in the sign, in the base for a monument-type sign. In the plans, I believe you will see the monument sign. So this one, we do have a monument sign. It's very similar, other than the name, to the one that's gonna be installed down at their other project. I wish I could explain more. They're all two-bedroom units. It really is an identical project, building and structure-wise, as the other
Bless you.
project. There's a differentiation in roof lines. One difference in this project, there will be a stepping between every 4 units. There'll be a 2-foot step in the building. So not only will the roof line step, but because of the grade of the site, we are stepping the building as well. So it'll give you a dimensional step as well along the ground.
So the low part of the property is away from the,
Yeah, it's the southwest corner. So it all pitches from the northeast corner to the southwest corner of the lot. So as you work away from the road, not only do the 4 sections of the building step, but the building step as well.
Is he gonna come back with an actual picture?
So I was actually, my next question was gonna be, I do see elevations that show us what the building will look like, but there's no renderings that show colors.
There isn't, and that's how I started this off. I don't have the
that's what I
colors. I can explain the colors. It's identical to the building down the street, but I didn't have a colored rendering to submit.
Try not to do the blue. Earth tone.
Take a ride by,
I have, I remember
Gilchrist.
going by and I'm like, we okayed that?
You didn't like that blue?
Oh, no,
It's a
not the-
baby blue.
But, well, I meant the building itself, it
Oh.
just seems,
That one's a little different than
Oh, for
a normal project. It's more, you've got a building, you got sidewalk, step down to the parking lot. That's what these will be, similar to that.
they'll get
It's
an
not,
actual picture.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I mean, they could probably send one in.
we're, I mean, there's a couple of things going on here. Obviously, there's a process before any of this happens, as you already stated you were aware. with the demo delay and figuring out whether or not there's historical significance. However, the other part of this is, you know, obviously we'd love to see renderings with colors. Material samples would be even better. I'll ask again too, what is your timeline for construction on this? Kind of depends on everything we were just talking about.
Yeah, it all depends on, you know, we were hoping to be in the same timeline as the last one. But with this delay on the historical significance, if you're not meeting till November, then this is a month behind. If you were to meet, and I think it says in the regulations, you are capable of meeting monthly if you deem it appropriate.
Yep.
But, and I could certainly have everything ready for that meeting, but if we're out till November, you know, there's nothing really I can do about it.
I mean, I will say typically in this situation, without like a rendering that we can actually look at, we would want you to come back. We could organize a special meeting if you think that the timeline is gonna meet what you're talking about. I would be kind of surprised with everything else that has to happen before the building will come down if it is going before demo delay. But that being said, I think, in this case, we would definitely want you to come back. Question is, do we want to have a special meeting to do that?
I would be open to
Me
one.
too.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
You know, particularly where we're deferring all the other business today, and maybe we can,
Be a good opportunity for you to come back with also,
Yeah, with on the last one.
yeah, if we meet next
sign.
month, that'd give you an opportunity to do both. So I think that makes sense.
Okay, that would
So
be
we'll do-
great. We really appreciate it if,
Yeah, we'll convene a special meeting. This actually also has the side benefit of allowing us to catch up on all of our other business from tonight,
Oh.
in October, so.
So that would be October 23rd,
Oh,
the
gosh.
fourth Thursday.
You're on top of your game tonight there, Art.
He's not new at this. It's just math.
It'll be,
I know where the second falls, so that's,
yeah. So the fourth Thursday would be the 23rd.
Did you say these are going to be apartments or condos?
all rental.
Rental?
And the last one was all rental also.
Okay.
I
Do
should
you know
have
how
mentioned.
much, just a ballpark, just to,
What's that again?
how much a rental would be, just in case?
I
That's
don't. I can come back
that's-
with the idea,
yeah,
but
it's-
off
No
the top of my
problem.
head, I don't know.
Just throwing it out there.
all right, it's on my calendar.
Okay.
On this one, can I suggest that you put some windows on the ends?
Windows on the,
Just big blank ends. And behind one end, where you have the deck,
Oh, yeah.
there's a living room and a kitchen, and no window.
Yeah, the elevations do show windowless ends on both sides of the building.
certainly.
And I think the front, I like the look of the fronts, with
Right.
the
Yeah, the
6 over
dormers.
6 shutters, your divisions and everything.
Dormers,
Yeah.
yeah, lights.
So having a
It all looks
solid
good.
blank end looks like a barn.
True.
It does,
Right.
doesn't it?
Those- good thinking.
And those
You wanna
units,
put a barn door on the end, that's okay with me.
you put a fake barn door.
Right. Break it up.
Yeah. On the second floor, there's bedrooms on both sides there, so
Curtains, they can do.
even on the first floor, it could be accommodated. Definitely take a look at it.
Commissioners, just to give him any more input that we can off of this, any more comments or suggestions based on the plans that we do currently have? Just to give you some idea of what to come back with.
I don't have any.
So the street view is gonna be your, the end unit, right?
Yeah.
So we've talked about maybe putting some windows in.
Yeah.
They should really pay attention to the landscaping there. Maybe a little heavy.
Yes,
Try to break that up.
Yep, break up the end.
As we speak.
end of the building, what page is it? Landscape on this one is, I think, 16 and 17.
You're in the wrong section here.
So there is quite a bit of landscaping between the, being in what was through 28 overlay zone, there was street tree zones and so on and so forth, so.
Okay.
Between the end of the building, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees, and then some off, not really centered on that building, on the
Okay.
end, so. I think it'll break up the end of the building.
Yeah, you have a bunch of trees in there. Should
Yeah,
screen
that'd
it pretty well.
Definitely help.
Certainly look at, adding some windows.
The
White lilacs as well.
north side of the property has a bunch of shrubs and trees too that would screen the back sides. The lighting plan.
And this one, we do have, like I said, the sign. It's very similar sign to what's gonna be put on Gilcrest. All LED lights, same company designed. This one is the last one. All night sky compliant, shielded down.
Okay, so, add windows to the ends of building. Looks like there's adequate landscaping. And the signage plan. Good. All right, yeah, so when you come back, the things that we're looking for are, if you can bring material samples, that would be best case.
Okay?
But renderings for sure. We'd like to see windows added to the ends of the building on this one.
Sure.
And if you can bring your, sign design plan, again, this is for the last
Sure.
one. We would love to be able to see that in the package when you return, so.
Okay, definitely.
Any further comments or questions from the
I
commission?
will say, I think architecturally, the building looks great from
Yeah.
a physical standpoint and what they're looking for architecturally. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it really
actually
fits
got
really well, our
a
New
lot of
England
the-
standards.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the things we typically ask for,
And
dormers,
if you
shutters.
happen to drive by Gilcrest and look past the piles that are blocking the buildings, you'll see the actual colors that are on the building today. And he plans on using the same colors, unless I come back and you tell me you don't like the blue.
It's a cold color, as my grandmother would say.
Well, you're wearing blue,
Hey,
cold.
well, that's different, buddy.
Oh,
I don't wanna look at it.
okay. Check it.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Good, thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
your time tonight.
okay, next up, we have a commercial site plan to construct a 7,200 square foot commercial building at 5 Ricker Ave, map 28, lots 22 and 23, zoned industrial 2, Epic Properties, owner and applicant.
Good evening. I don't know what you guys have in front of you, but I do have copies of the elevations, renderings, and the landscape plan. If
We
you
do
guys would
have
like.
access to it.
Yeah,
Well, not me, I'm not high-tech.
Oh,
Would you like them?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
please, I would, yeah.
If you guys want to just take one and pass
Well, Unless I can, oh, you know what? Oh,
Okay,
you look at my pictures,
I
too.
think we've got them all here.
Do you?
yeah.
There's one there. I'm all set, but
No, I'm not.
What did you click to get it?
I find it a lot easier on the computer than I do on the
I'm all set.
paper.
I got it right in front of me.
I'm good, thank you.
the elevations.
Ricker Ave,
See, I'm not even on there
5
looking.
Ricker Ave. Trustee.
All right, so this property is located at 5 Ricker Ave. So we have access off of Ricker Ave, and we also have frontage on Harvey Road, which sits up higher on the hill, and we're not planning on doing anything off of that road.
Hey, where the
So there's an
cursor is.
existing building that's a commercial building on this property that sits on the left side as you're looking at the road. So our proposed expansion is on the right side of the property, and we're adding in a 4-unit commercial bay type building. The garage doors are oriented to
zero.
face into the property instead of towards the road. We have plenty of plantings on here as well. We've incorporated the what is it that you guys the purple lilacs. So we've added those to the plans since you guys have
See, if you had
originally
been here
seen it.
more often, that would have been on the tip of your tongue.
I know, yeah. We also have added some supplemental plantings up on the top of Harvey Road, which sit closer to the top of the hill to provide some additional screening from the building.
Yeah, that's the side that the public's gonna be seeing most of.
Correct, yeah. So just to kind of give a little bit more of a visual buffer between the building and the road, because that's definitely the more traveled road. As far as the actual building design goes, we have elevations as well as renderings in here. So for materials, we have mostly vinyl. We have a combination of clapboards, shakes, and board and batten, just to kind of break things up. And this is also going to be stick built. It's not going to be a metal building, because when you go, they're 60 feet deep, and that's pretty much the limit of the truss systems. So this can actually be stick built. So it's going to look a little more, not quite like residential, but it's going to have more of a feel, asphalt shingles, vinyl siding, stuff like that. As far as colors go, I don't have the names of the colors, but they'd be similar to what you see in the rendering there. They'd be more of a, neutral color of type of a gray and some white mixed in.
Earth tones.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
There's also an industrial building. We try not to get too crazy with
Yeah,
design
for sure.
on these.
Appreciate that.
Well, they do have asphalt shingles on the roof, so good there.
Yep, yep.
Colonial white, earth tones. Looks pretty good for an industrial building, I think. Peaked roof.
Yep.
Yep.
The building, there's a building there now, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
That's gonna get demolished before
Nope,
this
that's
one?
actually staying.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
What is the business that's there?
It's a landscape company. It's
Landscape, okay.
Epic Properties. He owns and runs his business out of that existing building, and that's going to remain.
And this is an extension of his business, or is this something else?
This is more for something else. They're kind of commercial bays, so they'd be more for something he'd lease out instead of for an expansion on his company. I mean, I don't know if he's planning on, maybe one day if he expands his business, he might move into one or two of those, depending on what he's up to. But
So do we have a separate, and I haven't looked through, a separate signage plan for this building? or-
we actually don't have any signage proposed on this building
Okay,
currently, and
But if you lease it out, you'll probably have
Uh-oh.
tenant signs, right?
potentially, yeah. I mean, if we want to add a sign, we'll have to go through the process to get a sign permit.
Now, what about parked vehicles outside? Trucks or anything? Is this gonna be a?
That's more of a planning board thing to do.
Oh, I thought, really?
Yeah, I mean, we
Where-
have.
Where the design, landscaping.
Yeah, as you go in, the garages are on the right, and each unit has a designated garage bay area that they could use to get in and out of the garage, as well as one parking space, and we have additional parking on the other side of the road there. I mean, it would be pretty light traffic use in that area, but more of a planning board issue.
You said you had a landscape plan. Can you tell me what sheet that's on?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was on. It may not have made its way onto the thing that I had sent out to you guys.
It is
in
on the
email.
plan.
There is one, I
Sheet
got it
7?
here.
Okay, I wasn't. Do you guys have a copy of the full plan set as well?
We do, yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so that's that's sheet 7, and then they have notes and details on sheet 8.
Yeah, there we go.
The landscaping that's in front of the current building that's on the plan, is that existing already, or that'll be added in front of the other building?
That would be added. There's a fenced-in area directly in front of the building that I believe is just grassed right now, which would be kept as that grassed area. But to the right of the building, as you're looking at the plan, that would be additional landscaping.
Now, you heard all the feelings about the group, about the color blue, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't have anything blue in here.
Okay, good. Smart kid.
The blue's not that bad.
I personally, I don't mind blue, but,
Yeah,
you know, it's a personal preference.
It's not earth tone.
Well, blue is part of the earth. It's, lakes, the ocean.
So the new building is gonna be on the southward side of the property, and then in between the two buildings is gonna be a parking lot.
Correct, yeah.
Got it. Lighting, okay.
It's a pretty straightforward layout and building design and everything.
Agreed. All right, comments, questions?
Mechanicals on this building are where?
Oh,
Um,
yeah, lights?
for utilities,
Lights?
I would think inside the building.
Really?
I'm not entirely sure though for that.
Yeah, from the roadway, we can see what's on the roof anyway. It's a.
Right, yeah. I mean, we do have a transformer on the,
If the
on the-
landscaping blocks it, then.
Yeah.
Really see.
we do have a transformer on the property that we're adding for electrical and, you know, things like that. I don't know what they're planning on doing for, you know, for heating and
Screening.
ventilation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, as far as screening that, transformer, it sits fairly far back and there's plantings in front of it.
Yeah, in the case with a peaked roof with asphalt, I don't think the mechanicals are gonna be in view up there, so.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
Ability says no.
With no other, questions or comments?
Lighting, anything about lighting on the building?
There's a
or-
lighting plan.
Yep.
In, sheet 8, I think.
Okay, I missed it, that's okay.
Yeah, the lighting plan for this is, we actually managed to take advantage of a lot of wall packs instead of, I don't even think we have a single light pole on this property, because everything's close enough together that we can use it from building mounted lights.
All, LED, dark sky compliant.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, yeah.
That's all part of the
And
town
there's-
regs.
Yeah, and there's plenty of light, it looks like, so.
Plus you get the glow from the airport, so
Yeah, it is close to the airport.
you get the landing lights coming through, you look like your window.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, with no further recommendations, I will say that we will recommend to the planning board to approve as submitted.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
What was that? Yeah.
Okay. Our final site plan for tonight is for the Envision Building at the Village on Technology Hill PUD, 5 Kitty Hawk Landing, map 17, lot 5-5, zoned industrial 1, and the Village on Technology Hill Planned Unit Development, Londonderry Holdings LLC, owner and applicant.
Mr. Chair, didn't we review this building already?
You did? We've got a little update for you.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
So, any objections to me running this?
No,
if you-
if
if
you
you
know
know
how to use it, go for
I
it.
think you know more than we do, so.
We'll find out. We'll find out pretty quick.
This fellow's been here so often, he probably knows how to do a lot of things in this building.
We've done a few, for sure. All right, just give us one moment to get ourselves squared away.
Which one?
Just a second.
Sewer. Don't need the sewer, we need the site plan.
Village on Technology.
Access.
See that?
No, this is
Oh, yeah.
Vision. There we go.
Yeah.
There's the rendering.
You got it, Sue. We've seen it before, so.
No, Londonderry.
It's kinda,
Oh, it is an industrial building. so-
yeah, it's an industrial area, plus it's, has its own regs.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing, you're right, we saw this, yeah.
Hey. Look at that.
Attaboy.
Lucky day.
You're in charge, Nick.
I feel like I have enough responsibilities, but I appreciate the offer. All right, good evening. My name is Nick Golan. I'm a licensed engineer and principal with the firm TF Moran, here on behalf of the Village on Technology Hill team. With me and seated in front of me today is Christina O'Brien, who is a senior project architect with Market Square Architects. Yes, you have seen the Envision building before. We have made some slight adjustments to it, in part to really make sure that the applicant's desire for the building expresses the high-end technology that's being built inside of it. It's a little bit more of a sleeker, somewhat more modern building, and we thought, given that there were some modifications, it would be great for us to come and show you what we've done, and then I'll have the opportunity to talk to you all about the landscaping. So we'll be efficient with your time, and Christina, if you would, just kind of take us away on perhaps what some of those updates are, how we've stayed true to the vision of the building and the needs of the PUD, and we'll look for some feedback.
Absolutely, yes. Good afternoon, good evening. Christina O'Brien, Market Square Architects. Some of the similarities that we wanted to highlight between this and the previous rendition are the ribbon windows throughout. These provide great views, a lot of natural light, and it will be more in keeping with the light industrial buildings throughout the village. The second point we wanted to make was that there's a rhythm of borders between the two entryways. So the entryway that you see on the left-hand side is the visitor entryway. Down toward the right-hand side of the rendering is the employee entrance. And so those rhythm of bays are, yes, thank you, right in between the two. We are proposing metal panel for those bays. The color is called Bunny Gray. So it's a nice neutral, as you were speaking before about. The color for the mullions of the glass is also a very similar color to that metal panel, so it would be in keeping with that. And the glass is going to be slightly tinted, this grayish, slightly tinted glass, so be a little softer and obviously reflective, but not a mirrored glass by any means. So something that we wanted to bring to show you. And these colors, as kind of mentioned before in the previous submission, are just a little warmer, more neutral. And we're also proposing, if you see around that, the lower view that we have on the bottom of the screen, there's a wood look metal panel that will be around the visitor entrance, which will also bring some warmth to the building. So, as far as just a couple of the differences between this building and the previous design, there is more glazing, but again, just wanted to focus on the views and the natural light. We did omit the simulated stone base that was at the bottom of the building throughout. It's now going to be that metal panel and the color that you're seeing in the samples being passed around. And another change that we made was we removed the entry canopies, and we now have recessed glass entryways. So again, just to kind of reinforce the sleeker, more modern look of the building. And so it's our opinion that it's very complementary to the Village of Technology Hill as well as to the town of Londonderry for a commercial and manufacturing facility. And it will also include some very complementary landscaping, which Nick will review with you shortly.
Thank you, Christina. Any particular questions? I think we got a pretty good endorsement last time we were here with this building. I think we've improved on it, and we just wanted to make sure that we had your feedback, and hopefully this is still consistent with all expectations.
So a few of the items that I noticed that I think are some nice new additions are on your image that you have up right there. Nice patio area for the employees to sit
Yeah.
outside and enjoy their lunch when the weather permits. And I also noticed the new second floor deck. I think that is a nice feature for
Yeah.
whether it be a conference room or off of someone's office. I think that would provide a very nice feature right there. And I noticed before there used to be like a bit of a wave in the front of the building. I think this is a lot more sleeker with all the glass. It'll look really sharp.
Great.
Excellent.
Out of curiosity, with this type of window, will you have interior shades? I'm just curious.
I believe there will be, specifically in some areas where there would want some privacy.
Okay.
Definitely will be some shades, I would assume.
How much will that block the sun?
We would have, yeah, we're not quite that far in the design of it, but absolutely, the building will be designed for energy
No, I mean like,
requirements.
seems like the sun will still be blinding through that. That's why he brings up
Yeah, hold
the
it up
shades.
to the lights here, because there's a definite dimness.
We're just concerned about
The-
people being blinded by the sun through that.
Yeah,
that's
of
all.
course. The tinting does, I think it allows less light to come in. That's the
Okay.
intention of the tint. But as far as like heating and cooling, that will all be
Yeah, no, that,
designed.
right. No, I don't think that's what we were concerned
You're
about.
just concerned about just the lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be shades wherever required for the office space and conference room space.
There's obviously certain balance for trying to
Yeah, yeah.
produce as much natural light within a building, but then making sure that it's obviously not going to be of peril to any of the employees, which it would not be in this case.
Sure.
What's the gas in between the two pieces of glass?
Typically argon
Yeah.
gas, yeah, for energy efficiency.
Is that true to the thickness of the windows, that sample that you gave us?
We haven't gotten that far in the design, but insulated glass is
Wow.
is probably about an inch thick, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, what was the primary thought behind eliminating the stone bases?
Same
It was
question.
more just to keep with the uniform look of the bays and kind of frame those out with the metal panel and continue that down to the ground. And just because there's so much glass on the entryways now, we wouldn't necessarily have a stone base there. And so the idea was to maintain that kind of cleaner look with the metal panels at the bays.
Do we have stone bases on any of the other buildings in the
Yes.
village?
We do.
There are.
So would there be a thought of perhaps looking at one more time as just grabbing a little bit from those other buildings and bringing it into this facility?
Maybe, let me help Christina a little with this, because it was something as a design team that we thought long and hard about, because that was one of the consistent elements that we saw through all of our buildings. Specific to this building, this is our crown jewel. It sits on top of the hill. It's intentionally a little bit different than all of our other buildings. Because of the nature of the high-tech product that's being built within this structure, there is a certain look and a certain feel when you carry these types of federal contracts. That is the expectation. So as this design matured, that stone base just didn't ring through with this type of building. I thought Market Square did a fantastic job working with the owner to evaluate different existing structures, similar structures that had uses more similar to what we have. And we just didn't see that stone base. It essentially clashed with the other aesthetics of the building. So no, I very much appreciate the request, but I wanted to assure you that it was something we really struggled with, and we did work through the design process to determine that it really wasn't appropriate, especially with the amount of glass that's proposed on this building. The two architectural elements just really didn't jive.
Too bad, gonna make us happy.
We've seen, Nick, some buildings proposed before that are uber modern.
Yeah.
And they haven't played well with the populace, frankly, in town. And we're a reflection of that, I think, a little bit in some of our comments to you.
Understood.
So I guess my suggestion as one commissioner would be maybe worth a second look.
Understood. Appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, I actually had the same question about why you would choose to remove the stone. Specifically knowing that we typically like to see, you know, earth tones and things that can tie it in with kind of the overall aesthetic of the town, right? Which is an orchard town, so we love stone, brick, earth tones. I get what you're going for sure. But I also like the idea that it tied in with all the other buildings to have that same stone touch. Otherwise, I mean, plenty of the other stuff that you guys did is, you know, a little more unique, makes the building look a little more high-tech. But I think that stone foundation kind of tied it all together with the rest of not only the PUD, but also the town. We tend to have lots of stone work around. We love our stone walls, obviously.
No, of course.
So I'm one
certainly
member,
something
but
that we look
I
great.
don't agree to have the stone on this building at all. This is a high-tech industrialized building, and I don't think the stone needs or belongs on the building. When we don't usually have requesting on any of our other industrial buildings that we've seen come before us require stone on them.
Yeah, we have, right?
I don't think that having this on this building would be a requirement.
Well, we have to remember that this is a PUD, it has its own design plan that is part of the plan for PUD. That's what governs it, but I mean, we might have flashes of how things look around town, but this is a unit by itself, so it has its own, theme of architectural design and so forth, so I don't think we need to get too far removed from that. We lose our perspective.
I'm sorry, Art, so what are you saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
this is the PUD, so it has.
No,
its
I understand that, but where are you coming down in terms of stone, no stone?
I'm probably more, I'd have to go back and see what's in the PUD for design, because we went through the whole overall design of the PUD. So I think that would probably, would govern it. I think I agree more with Ted, but I'd have to look at our PUD requirements.
I do know that in the original submission in the PUD that there was a lot of talk about, you know, keeping in tune with the overall aesthetic of the town.
Right.
And PUDs are specifically designed to allow for some free form, right, of zoning.
Yeah, for them to set up their own themes.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, speaking of theme, right, this building is different than everything else in there, so it just makes sense to me to tie it all together, but that being said, Ted had mentioned the word requirement, which obviously is not what we're talking about here. So I wanna make that clear, like, we can't require that you add stone, but it's obviously something that it sounds like some of us would like to see. However, that being said, there seems to be difference of opinion, so I'm curious. Ted, you said you wouldn't like to see stone.
Yeah, no, I do not want to see the stone on there. I mean, I don't see any other industrialized, high-tech building like this that would have stone on it, whether it be really within our town or in the region. I mean,
That's,
I wouldn't see this on, stone like this on a building. It would look
there's
silly.
certainly buildings with stone on them, industrial included, but, okay.
Amherst, Bedford?
I'd have to agree with Ted. If you put stone at the base of that building, it'll change the look of the building. The one thing that I mean, we have to remember there are other buildings on this property. And, you know, they have encompassed a lot of what we asked for. This is the mainstay. I get it. This is not downtown, this is not on 102, this is up at the airport. We have different geography up there and other things. I think to put stone on that base and ask them to do that, I think would just take away from the design of the building. I mean, they have the wood in one of the entrances. I don't know, does that go 30 feet high or whatever? I think it'll just ruin the aesthetics of the building. And like I said, they're not asking for any other changes there. Everything else, from what I gather, is still staying the same. So I think this becomes a little bit of a compromise.
This looks like Manchester. You know, this is Londonderry, not Manchester.
Well, I think the theme is more
Well,
industrial.
no, let's talk about that. Let's go look at the buildings that are up around that surround that. Go take a look at them.
But still, it's making
This is a lot
difference.
better than some of the ones that have been there. So, you know, you can say Manchester all you want, but the bottom line is take a look at that whole area and what it encompasses for design. This would stand out next to the buildings that are up there now.
If it was by itself, Jim, I think I'd agree with you, but it's not. It's part of the surrounding technology village that they put there. Okay,
I
which
get
is,
it.
I was suggesting that we have something in this building that unifies it with the remainder of the village.
There'd be like stone walkway?
Mr. Chair and members of the board or the commission, perhaps this is a good opportunity to segue to the landscaping and circle back. And I say that in part because the landscaping proposed for this area, I'm really excited to talk about it. The elements that we've added that are very particular to Londonderry and how those elements tie to the rest of the PUD. Would that be something we could do?
Yeah,
Yep.
please.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so as we look at this plan, to the south is access from Kitty Hawk Landing. To the west and north would be the location of Akira Way. Envision Drive is providing access to the site, working our way left to right. As we approach the first driveway, that's our employee entrance, which provides a curvilinear approach to the back of the building. The curvilinear nature is very purposeful. It is supposed to be as much artistry of this parking lot as it is to be a practical use. As we approach that first entryway, this is framed with lilacs to provide that entrance experience. We also see that there's some elms in that area, the Princeton elm that we used elsewhere in the site, which again demarcates that entrance experience. As we work our way to the north up the page, we can see that there's a flag bank located right at the entry. Within and around that flag bank are waves of flowering shrubs mixed with ornamental grasses and lower evergreen ground cover to really focus the attention towards that visitor entry. You can see to the lower left-hand corner, we have approximately an acre of natural wooded half acre of natural wooded vegetation. This is something our landscape architect went out there and evaluated. There are some fun trees out there, some things that were worth saving. There is a wetland that's located primarily within the center of that. One of the focuses of the PUD, again, was to try and maintain natural vegetation wherever practical, especially in areas where it overlapped with conservation land. So I think we paired that together really, really well. As we work our way down into the east, so directly south of the parking lot, you had mentioned this is an apple orchard town. So we're providing an apple orchard. There is 3 different varieties for the purposes of appropriate propagation. We have Cortland, Honeycrisp, and Macintosh. The idea is this can be an event for the employees. They can pick their own apples. And it really ties and pays homage to the apple orchard nature of the town of Londonderry. Now, what we've done is along the western side of that to provide a smooth transition to that existing forested area is we framed it with native azaleas and evergreens that really soften that edge. You can see there are also additional evergreens along the southerly portion. So it really kind of provides that intimate element to a site that you don't regularly see. This area of the development's approximately 20 acres, so it gave us the opportunity to really work with those spaces. What we have is a clover understory underneath those trees, allows us to really minimize the amount of maintenance that's required when it comes to the need for mowing. So again, we're coming up with a cost-effective solution that ties to the town and provides an added benefit, not only of it being attractive, but a potential even event for the employees that work here, which we thought was just really special. Now, I should mention within that existing forest pocket, we have maple, we have oak, And while sassafras as the overstory, there is some smaller trees that represent that understory that we can evaluate, but it should, as it grows out, have the opportunity to really overframe those native azaleas that we're planting and just provide this really cool layered textured approach so that when you're looking outside of these glass windows, you're not staring into a parking lot. It's as if you're staring into a park. That sounds like a pretty serene way to work your day. I wish I had a better view from my office, which is an interior wall. I'll have to keep working harder to get that window seat, I suppose. As we continue to work our way further south, and this was mentioned at our opening when we were talking about the building, this is the employee entrance. Immediately to the right of that, we have a very much park-like setting. Again, you can see the curvilinear nature. This is really hard for me because I'm an engineer and I love straight lines. But Ken Zielinski's done an awesome job of reminding me, the quickest distance between 2 points isn't always a straight line. We have to look at a little bit of the aesthetics of this. This is really fun, what we've provided, not only with that curvilinear patio, with some smaller flowering trees on the interior. Again, providing shade, providing that intimacy of space so that as people are having their lunch or otherwise, they're not necessarily right on top of each other. As we work our way outside of that arc, we have more medium to large shade trees with shrub massings to create, again, a space separate from that parking lot. Because of the proximity, we had to be very careful about our selections to make sure that we're providing that enclave for folks, and it's not the equivalent of, you're having an outdoor dinner in Manchester and somebody's pulling up their car right beside you on the street. This really gets away from that type of methodology. Now, as we work our way further into the parking lot, you can see we have incorporated landscape islands. These, again, are consistent with our PUD. All right, these mouse settings are a little different than what I'm used to. Again, flowering trees, shrubs, so we're providing varying colors. One of the other things that's really cool of this, so it's a cross-section of colors from really brilliant red to our orange to our yellows, but we also have different silhouettes and textures. So, when we look at the different types of silhouettes, the umbrella type form where we have our elm trees, the ovalesque when we're looking at our oaks and our maples, more circular when we're looking at our tupelos. We have triangular. So it really provides this just great cross-section of different elements throughout this area, very much consistent with our PUD. The orchard, I'm just thrilled to talk about it because I think it was such a fun element to be able to add to this. Plantings that are within the parking lot, salt tolerant. These are native or native improved species. And I mentioned the lilacs that frame up our entryway into our employee parking lot. We have our perimeter trees around our parking lot, again, consistent with what the expectations are of the PUD. And those are our plantings that are going to have the opportunity to grow and mature. From a pictorial standpoint, these are shown about 75% of their growth. So when we start to envision what this is going to look like, pun intended, as this grows in, the shading, the resiliency against concerns with heat island effect, it checks all those boxes that we're looking for. On the smaller islands, we've provided smaller flowering trees so that we're not overwhelming the area. You can see that there are other little squares throughout the parking lot. So those are our LED downcast lights, dark sky compliant. What are some other things I wanted to talk to you about? Just the plant palette in general is consistent with all of the other elements of the Village on Technology Hill. We have similar plantings in similar locations. So again, it provides that uniformity between our residential and leasing section, our retail and childcare, On Point and the manufacturing. On Point and the manufacturer are really the baby brother of the Envision building. So what we've done is taken not only that architecture, but also that landscaping and progressed it to a higher level. You'll see that there is more landscaping in this area. It frames the building very nicely. As gorgeous as the building as it is, there aren't that many direct sight lines. You'll certainly have it as you approach the entryway coming up Envision Drive where we have our flag banks and really that primary entranceway to the building, if I jump back to that. So that we're making that a focal point, and that's where we see those wood tones. those things that we talk about really wanting to see in the town of Londonderry. So there was just some things that we were excited about. The other element I'll make sure I mention is really the perimeter plantings. So these hatched areas are the wildlife conservation mix. Again, something that provides a natural transition from our built to our natural environment. So we'll see different flowering masses within those areas. It also allows for reduced mowing. Some of these are some fairly steep slopes. If you hearken back to our original discussion of the PUD, we had 120 linear feet of grade drop from the northeast to the southwest quadrant. A lot of that takes place in this northeast quadrant of the site. So we do have some retaining walls. The max height of those, approximately 30 feet, and that's directly behind the building, and then that tapers to 0 as we go in either direction. Interconnecting sidewalks. We are a walkable community. You'll see that there are sidewalks, obviously, through the limits of the parking lot. There are sidewalks that then project to the visitors area. There's sidewalks that then take you down into the residential area. And since we had the opportunity to, we also provided an interconnection here with an opportunity to get us out to Insight Way, which then provides connection to the On-Point and manufacturing building, as well as potential access to the other residential sections. So I think we've held true to our expectations of the PUD about it being an interconnected, walkable community. Questions? I threw a lot at you there. And you
Mr. Chair,
Food for thought.
have a comment for, I guess, the sort of landscaping plan here that might go along with the stonework that you guys are looking to have. I'm wondering if the applicant might be amenable to including a 1-foot stone wall by the employee entrance and going along the sidewalk and going out both directions to try and, have a bit of that stonework, but it's not physically on the building, but it's in that area. And I was noticing on the elevation plans, you have about a 1 foot or more up from the start of the sidewalk all the way up to that patio. So I thought that might also alleviate some of the, the elevation draw up. You can make that more of a flatter plane.
Okay. So the area we're talking about is in front of the patio. Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah,
We're
it probably
talking
doesn't
about
need to go the whole way, but up into that first sidewalk,
Could there
maybe.
possibly be a little bit of a framed element there?
Yeah.
Let us
Right.
evaluate that.
Yeah.
If we can tie that to the other components of the building in a manner
Right.
that's justifiable,
Right.
I think that's a reasonable request. Let me review that with the ownership.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable.
Do you guys have a monument sign in front of this building?
Not yet. So there will be a full design lighting or signage package that will come along with this. There will be a primary monument sign as you come in off of Insight Way from Akira Way. And the expectation is as you approach the Envision building, really this corner right here, there will be a primary monument sign as well. We're working on something special for that. So we'll be excited to bring that one in front of you in the future. But there'll be a turnkey signage package that will address those elements in the future.
Okay. I only asked because I was thinking of that as like another opportunity potentially to tie things together, right? Like whether it would be a stone-based monument or something like that, but, yeah. See what the ownership thinks
Okay.
about
Ownership's
what we were
here.
just talking about.
There's
And,
always a middle ground.
That might be a good compromise, I think.
Sure.
Can I understand what we're talking, we're coming down that path and then around that employee patio, is that what you're talking about?
So,
I'd leave that up.
around here,
Right here.
coming out here and going to the first sidewalk, just ending at that first sidewalk.
Gotcha.
You have a 1-foot elevation from the sidewalk that goes up to the patio. So just like 1 foot tall stone wall.
Okay.
Capper or something.
We could turn it into an architectural feature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an added seating location, and we can incorporate some other elements to it.
Well, that's
So-
what I was thinking
Right.
on, if
So
you
let us
wanted to
be
do that
creative.
around the
Let's-
patio pad, that might be an added seating
Right.
place.
Yeah, well, it's like the equivalent of people sitting on the stairs of the courthouse having their lunch.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
can provide some other seating
Yeah, if
opportunities.
it was like retaining wall block with a cap or something like that, it'd be perfect.
You saw me flipping through this as fast as I could earlier. This is our PUD. I did want to read one element, and I think it might help us when we're talking about the design of the building. So for the Envision building, the larger Envision building represents a bold departure from traditional New England architecture norms, aiming to redefine the essence of a modern New England village. The driving concept behind the design is to create a modern mill, one that pays homage to the region's industrial heritage while embracing contemporary materials and architectural elements. The building's facade will feature a harmonious fusion of various elements, exterior wall panels and glass, marrying form and function in a strikingly modern way. The large glass expanses, although unconventional in the context of a traditional New England village, are strategically incorporated to flood the interior with natural light, promoting a sense of transparency and connectivity within the workspace. So the elements, this one's still working, those ones are off. The elements that I describe, and I feel like the building that we are looking at are consistent. The intent was for it to be a striking and modern building, which I think Christina and her team have created. So if we look at it just from the context of the PUD, I feel like we did hit that mark. But the comment relative to, are there some other elements to the site that we might be able to incorporate that then draws it together with the remainder of the village are good points. So we will evaluate that option and see what we can do to incorporate
Mr.
it.
Chairman,
I think
I
there's some
would-
good opportunities there.
I believe one of the owners are here. I'd like to hear from him.
Come to the mic, please.
Come to the
Sir, if
microphone,
you could, yeah,
please.
come to the
Come on
microphone.
down, Ken.
Just introduce yourself,
You can
please.
either sit there or pull up a seat right here.
Thank you.
So, Ken Zelinski, and I think it's fair to say I represent the owner.
Yes, boss.
If you could flip back to the building elevations, in particular, the one, start with the wood. So what, we did try to keep consistency and some themes going through, so it is a part of the village, but as Nick was saying, it is intended, this is a technology village, and it's intended to convey the fact that we're a high-tech company, and the customers who visit us expect to be visiting a high-tech company. But if you look at this detail, this is the wood that was mentioned very briefly. This is consistent with the entrances to the residential buildings. And there's also, wood on the retail building, and there's some wood features on the childcare. But this look is taken from the residential buildings. And if you go to the employee entrance, same thing. This wood is consistent with what we did at the entrances to those, to the residential buildings. So we do have a theme running through it. The issue with the stone at the bottom, we wanted a clean, modern look. And, there's fish and there's fowl, but you try to mix fish and fowl, and you get something that's, not very attractive, and we didn't want to, we were aware of it, but we deliberately said, in this building, it doesn't work. We certainly can look at an architectural sculpting in the land to bring in some wood, and we certainly can look at that.
Thank you, Ken.
I think that's a pretty healthy compromise. If we can add in some architectural elements that'll do that, that would be amazing.
And I almost forgot, there is a plethora of bike racks, which can be seen both at the employee entrance
Hey,
as
Nick,
well as the visitor
You had
entrance.
us at Apple.
All right, I was hoping that was the case. Shoot, we were so excited about that in our
I
office.
think you might have missed your calling.
Hey,
Should have been in
you know.
sales.
God, where were you
You're a
when I
sales
needed
guy.
toilet paper salespeople?
Sorry. But I'm excited to see your guys' response. I know Ken is, and Christina. Like this is such a trademark building. I hope this is a building people are talking about in a positive light 20, 30 years from now.
Nick, just a question. On the original design, did we have solar on the roof?
We did, and we will on this one as well. It is just not shown for graphical purposes so that we can get a good feel for the building.
It looks like a perfect level ground for it, too, so.
Yes, sir.
If I could, that is screening around, it's around the top, yes.
right here.
So that will be screening the solar panels, but the intention is to pretty much fill that roof as much as we can. There will be mechanical equipment in the very center.
Right.
If
but
I'm not
otherwise-
mistaken, this building's actually at like the tallest point.
It
of
is.
the- So
Correct.
you really can't see what's on the roof anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, it sits at about elevation 430 and approximately 42 feet tall.
Yeah.
And I take it you'll have proper drainage on the top of the building so that it won't be running off the side of your building?
Yes, it's an
Correct.
Wonderful.
internal roof drain system which will discharge to a header system on this side, which
Awesome.
is then fed through a combination of pipes to subsurface systems and outfalls to a positive.
Last thing you
discharge.
want is all your glass getting dirty on the front.
I agree. That was one of the things we talked about. So the points you guys raise, it's always refreshing to hear because these are things that are coming up in our design meetings.
Now that you softened this up a little bit, do you have some renderings of the foundation building?
Not yet.
Okay.
But that has not changed from the PUD, and that does have stone at the base surrounding the elevator tube, if you will.
So we always got to leave them hanging a little bit, Ken. So more to come. We'll see where that one goes next, but there are, this is our fifth offering of the Village on Technology Hill Plan Unit Development. We do still have the foundation building to come. There's still the opportunity for other manufacturing buildings. This has been a great project, so I'm great to see everybody tonight, and we've got a little bit of homework to go back and do some research, and we'll apply that to our plans as part of the design review.
I mentioned 13 November,
I'm sorry?
13 November.
Jeez. I can't let him sit up here.
And
Can I mention it?
Go ahead, sir.
13 November, we've confirmed with Kelly Ayat, we're going to be doing a ribbon cutting on the bridge. So we expect Kelly, and we're going to be inviting, obviously town officials and other state.
What day is that again?
What's that?
13th
What day is
November.
that again?
13 November, it's a Monday or a Tuesday, I think.
If you can get that information to Kelly so that she can discern that out to the board?
Do you know what time on that date?
I think it's 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
So we'll make sure we forward some invites. I feel everybody else is just as integral to this process as we are.
Yeah,
so
I'd
it'd
love
great
to
see
be there.
everybody there.
And that's the
Yeah.
bridge that's coming from the current,
For the retail and
That's right.
childcare areas.
yep, exactly.
It's a Thursday.
A Thursday, thank you.
Thursday.
All right.
I would say we're getting close.
I hope so.
Much closer. We have one building left?
So we have the foundation building, and then there is an opportunity for other manufacturing uses on the 12-acre parcel that we haven't really touched. It's all been consolidated in one, but it was previously its own lot. So we continue to evaluate the project and look to see how we can best meet the community's needs. But as of right now, yeah, this is the next opportunity. Ideally, this can start, with earthwork as soon as possible, and foundations in the spring, and probably about a 2-year build. So by 2028, we're looking to see them moved into this. So stay tuned.
Sounds good.
As far as order of building, are you guys planning on trying to do everything at once, or starting with residential? Like, where do you?
You gotta come on the 13th and see.
It looks a little different.
Is there gonna be
so
food?
The
I'm just kidding.
always ask, why not? The retail building is constructed. We've leveled the ground for the childcare area. We have multiple residential buildings under construction. Several of the foundations poured. We're already going vertically.
Okay. So kind of going in order of the submissions as they've been rolling along. Got
Correct.
it.
And in part, our construction manager, North Branch Construction, has been doing an awesome job. They have got everything mapped out. They're running ahead of schedule, so hopefully we can continue in that capacity.
Okay.
Good news.
Yeah, good news for tonight. All right.
Notes from this, I just wrote, suggest adding hardscape architectural elements to the design to tie other buildings and PUD together. Other than that,
Sounds great. Thanks for your time
good
tonight.
job.
I think we can get to a compromise.
I think so too. I think so too. We'll find a way.
I'm not gonna say where or how it works, but leave it up to you.
we have a good team. We'll work it out.
I know you guys have been working hard on
And thank you for letting me commandeer the equipment.
Absolutely.
Yes,
it.
thank
Want
you.
Keith's the towel?
Yeah, we can, it helps out, Nick, at all these meetings we have.
How about that? If I'm hearing you're in need, I'll take care of it for the other applicants next time.
For the building.
I'll send them a bill.
To that, I need that.
I don't know.
Well, no,
Let's see.
Okay, that wraps up our applications for tonight.
Motion
Moving
to
on
adjourn?
to other business. We have eliminated most of these. However, the one thing that I think we could still discuss is the Reverend Morrison's Meeting House and whether or not we should list in the New Hampshire State Register. I've read up on this a little bit, but Dr. Ellis, I defer to you. I think,
Well, I'm not gonna get into the history of it, we beat
of
that to
course,
death.
yeah, of course.
The state has looked at the property,
Mhm.
and they've looked at the history, and they said, okay, it's eligible. If you if you submit an application, have it listed, it then has to go to council for approval. So it's likely to be some while before you see anything happen anyway.
Yep.
The advantage of being on the list is, aside from the publicity, it puts you a little further up towards the top of the queue if you decide to apply for any financial grants. Now, it doesn't encumber what the town does to that property at all. You can request to be delisted anytime you want, or if you do something that degrades it to such a point that it's no longer historically significant, the state may say, oh, we're delisting it. But that doesn't stop you doing that. In terms of what you do, somebody did mention to me they were concerned that the act of listing it made any work more expensive. I don't believe that's true. If you look at it, there are three types of thing that you can do. You can try to restore it in a way that brings it back to some previous historic value. That is likely to be expensive. You could do simple maintenance, just retaining the status quo, doesn't degrade from it, doesn't enhance it. An example might be, the roof needs doing, I gather. It's got a shingle roof at the moment. If you replace it with another shingle roof, you aren't going to damage it historically, you aren't going to enhance it, it's a neutral act. And putting a shingle roof on shouldn't be any more expensive whether it's listed or not. Shouldn't be. I can't think why it would be. The other thing you can do would be work that actually degrades the property, and that's then the state isn't going to watch and see, but they might learn of that at some point later and say, well, what you did is sufficient that it's no longer valid.
Dr. Ellis, can you go into why the state has deemed this property eligible? Because from the reports that we had received, the only historical items was the vault and some parts of the tin roof that is right now inside the building. So are they claiming that those two items qualify the building?
Sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble hearing over here, Ron. Let me step down here. Use this one.
I was hoping that you could go into detail more about why the state is claiming that this building qualifies when our most recent reports that we've gotten back stated that the only historical of significant items are the vault and the tin roof items that are in the ceiling. Is that what the state's going by, or are they talking about other
Going
items?
by the overall history, there was a report, if you pull up the...
Yeah, I've read the report.
It gave you the categories. There were 4 possible categories.
So even though that the most recent report that was done by the independent investigator that the town hired said the only historical significant items are the vault and the tin roof, the state's not looking at that?
They would have considered those. They have also considered other things.
Okay, I'm just worried that it's not, from the independent investigators, that it's not hitting historical referenced items. And my big worry as well is, if we do put a historical item and go for historical grants, most likely those materials will cost more money than having normal construction costs.
If you try to restore it and increase its historic value, yes.
Okay.
But if you just maintain the status quo,
Well, the status quo right now is quite deficient, and for us to put the building to operational standards that it should be for a town building, we'd most likely get even further out of that historical designation.
I don't think necessarily that's true. I mean, you've got the floors you want to work on. That isn't going to affect it one way or the other. The roof could be replaced. That isn't going to affect it one way or the other.
And I guess I'd want to hear more from the
Wiring?
state on that, because it seems like a lot of the items that we would need to do to bring this building up to code and to be a usable building by the town, we'd probably be losing a lot of the historical evidence that the building still has. And I'd want to get some representative from the state and have their opinion upon what changes do we do to the building that all of a sudden we fall out. And as well, you know, are you going, if we did go qualify for any of your grants, how would that then affect us financially on this building?
Well, the grants are independent of the listing. Any grant that you get, anytime the town takes a grant, it often has encumbrances with it.
Yeah, there's a lot more red tape that goes along with those grants.
If we've got grants for conservation work, those come with criteria.
Yeah.
Whether you accept that grant or not, that still doesn't matter, doesn't affect the listing of it. You could list it. If you want to accept the grant, you accept the encumbrance that comes with it. If you don't accept the grant, then you don't get the encumbrance. But,
Well, I think things for people to probably think about
The
here.
listing isn't really related to the grant. You'd get that encumbrance whether it was listed or not.
Right, but you wouldn't qualify for that grant if you weren't listed though, right?
You wouldn't, maybe not.
Okay. I'm not sure how you would qualify for that grant if you weren't a historical building.
You may not. But then you don't have to apply, you don't have to accept the grant. That's a decision that you make independent. You're trying to bundle, you're conflating two things.
Not entirely. Because if you're trying to go for this historical designation on the building, most likely then you would try to go then for historical grant money.
That is one of the benefits.
That is one of the benefits.
It's a benefit, but also a negative at the same time. And there could also be more
Well, if you
negatives with
don't-
all the red tape and the
If you
increased
don't want
expenses.
to apply for the grant, you could still be listed.
This is true, but I'm not sure what would be the point of then having the historical
Recognition,
designation.
recognition.
But if there's not much recognition anymore of the building, because the building's been changed so many times and not much of historical properties are left in the building.
That's not the opinion of the people of the state when they looked at it.
And then I'd want to have someone from the state to actually come here and explain it then.
Did the state produce a report on it when they
Yes,
looked at it?
It was in the package.
It's also in the package?
Yeah.
I mean, we also had an independent investigator look at the building, and they found that there was barely any historical.
Well, Ted,
Could I ask, is it what's in the building or what the building once was?
It is what the building once was and some of the stuff of the building itself. The structure of the building. Let me see if I can find the,
So why don't we have the state come in and explain it to us, so we have
did this package include
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
the
If
forms?
we have a state report versus,
Yeah.
The floor didn't give out. We probably,
Yeah, I think it's better to have someone from the state come in, because we could either hear or we've done Zoom with, various state
I want to
agencies.
ask you a question, and I don't think so. Has the state ever been in to talk?
Yeah,
to
this is
anyone
the
in town?
evaluation record is in the package here.
About that building?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Well, I think that's a good.
It
point.
qualified under criteria A and criteria C.
Oh, Nadine Miller had been down, this is when we were meeting in the Sunnycrest room, more to talk about our certified local government status. What we need to do for that. That's another
Criteria
grant
A.
funding process. I had some info for Kelly, so that we can still, we need to get a letter of intent in by the 1st of October. You can send it for
CLG grants.
Oh, I think, I mean, I think we should have the state come in.
Yeah.
We haven't had them come in.
Well, I think they should also be looking at the new document that was presented to the town council and to the town by the independent, investigator of the property with their
What were
assessment
the-
of the building too.
What were the credentials of this? I mean, why are you questioning the state versus an independent investigator?
Because if the state hasn't even been inside the building to actually look at the building, I feel like that's a problem, if they haven't even seen the building, when this person has actually gone inside every nook and cranny of the building.
Oh, does the state go in buildings?
I don't know, or do they just look
So-
at the history of it?
Then we go back to, let's have the state come in here,
Yeah,
and
right.
let's talk to them.
Talk to them, get them to read the report first. We
And
can
get a
give them the
baseline.
report, say, we'd like you to come in and talk to us. Here's the reports that we have.
Yeah.
Come in and tell us, you know, what our options
If
are.
you pull up page 15 of the materials, that is the statement by the state regarding its historic significance. Bit further on,
There's pictures of the inside too.
right down at the end, it's almost the last item that they put in the package. That's it. Little bit further down, keep going.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Eligible for listing for its historical and architectural significance, as well as association with the Reverend Morrison. Meeting House retains sufficient integrity to convey its historic importance, despite the application of vinyl siding and small rear additions. The period of significance is from 1770 to 1975. The boundary would have to exclude the pavilion. So they would not consider the pavilion as part of it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just a different angle, and this could conceivably be done at the same time. Having someone perhaps from the state speak to us, I think is great. But I would propose or suggest to the group that I think we're out of sequence here. We're talking about adding this building to the list of historic buildings in the state. And I don't think we know yet whether the town, even once we've done that, I don't think we know if the town wants to pay to put the building in shape so that it basically doesn't fall down in the next couple of years. I think if you walk up to anybody on the street and you ask, what do you think about preserving the Morrison House, they're gonna go, yes.
But do they want-
And what do you feel, how do you feel about spending, the two numbers I saw from 2022 was 1.2 million, from this past spring, 1.5 million, and we've got tariffs and all kinds of nonsense on top of that now. So I think what we should possibly consider is, I saw a proposed motion, and that could be put on hold until, we hear from the state or anybody else that wants to educate us on this. But I would suggest that any proposed motion would be conditioned on, frankly, Ted, the town council saying, we're going forward with a warrant article on this for 1.5 million to fix up that building. And if that building and then after that warrant article is voted on, if the taxpayers say, we're willing to do that, it's important enough, then let's put it on the register and
So-
do everything we can, not
One of-
before that.
One of the reasons, though, that we're looking at putting it on the register is specifically because we could free up grant money that would help us with that. But I don't,
You know what? Again, you have to give the even though they put slush money into both of those estimates, they have to, because when you start to rip apart an old building like this, you know this
You're
stuff.
gonna find a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
things that are
Yeah,
wrong.
you're gonna find all kinds of stuff, okay? And plus, those were done before they knew about the mold situation in the building. And I'm sorry, there was a discussion about pests rampant through the building too at this point. Okay, so,
We may find maybe asbestos throughout the building that we need to take care of. I
who
don't know.
knows? Okay, who knows? But, you know, a building that old, and particularly when you look at the kind of work that was done on it, and I'm not knocking anybody, I'm just saying, you know, vinyl siding, maybe the floor joists weren't done quite correctly, you know, the kind of work, there's gonna be a lot of correction in there, okay? And so I think you put a number like 1.5 million on a warrant article or as a bond, or however they wanna do it, and see how the folks feel. And then, meanwhile, we get ourselves educated, find out what we need to know. Dr. Ellis, I am absolutely in favor of preserving this building, but I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on it if the folks in town aren't going to pay for it.
And if the voters actually approve 1.5 and there's magically grant money that comes up, well, then maybe that 1.5 gets reduced at some point.
Oh my gosh, government delivers something below the budget originally proposed.
But the way that the state is going, with cutting funds left and right, I don't trust that the money will.
Yeah, there's not gonna be much in the way of grant money there.
No,
So I don't wanna be
It's
going for something.
it's harmless to list it and just let it sit.
In the email exchange with David, it's
But-
my position's being cut.
Right.
Yeah, which doesn't bode well for.
Say it again, sorry.
In the email exchange, one of the positions of the person you were talking to, they said my position is being cut in July. So the state.
So that
historic
doesn't bode
register-
well that there's even gonna be money available.
Right, if it's not money for, I mean, that
So-
was, yeah.
I mean, one
Seems like
consideration
speculative,
should be if you go ahead and list it, then you are going to get more interest from the townspeople in preserving it or spending money.
David, I suggest to you respectfully, that's a trap, okay? Because then, if we decide, maybe the townspeople don't approve the warrant article, okay? And now we've got this historic building that's listed that the town people have said they're not gonna pay. And our next decision at that point may very well be knocking the thing down, okay? If you're not gonna fix it, at some point it has to come down,
But being
okay?
listed doesn't prevent you doing that.
Do you know what? I don't want to stand in front of 50 people that feel as passionately as you do and say, it's time for us to knock the building down because, you know, we get slaughtered. I'm not interested in that.
I think that would be heresy.
Jim, doesn't that seem like a huge amount of money?
Well,
Fix
it
that
all
up?
depends upon what they have to do. I mean, there's certain things
But
that would
yes.
need to get done,
So
like
the,
the electrical.
There's
And
no
the-
kitchen, there's no.
There's a lot of handicap accessibility that needs to happen.
the bigger problem too is in order to make it actually back to its historical significance, sometimes they require materials that are not readily available or that cost a lot of money in order to restore.
Well, you don't
That's
have
where
to-
I could certainly see
You
it
don't have to
costing
bring it
more,
back
but-
to some better condition. It's already in a sufficient.
The problem will be is some people in town may say, oh, you've made this a historical designated building. We need to do this now. We have to build it this way.
Yeah, to what degree of historical authenticity we want that building?
Well, particularly where we really don't have a game plan for what's gonna happen to the building if and after we fix it. Okay, that has yet to be determined. Okay, so, I believe you, there are so many pitfalls on this whole thing that I don't think we can realistically vote on this at this point. I know we're not doing it tonight either, Mr. Chair, but But I just don't see it happening till we have a clear direction from the townspeople and from the town council on that's what we want to do. Okay, we want to spend money there. I mean, Dave Wally, I think, was planning on being here. One of the questions I would have for him is, I have these two estimates. They really, neither one of them deals with making the buildings ADA compliant, okay? And there may be a pass on that if you list them historically. There's
One-
some reference to that.
One of them did,
One of them did?
for ADA, yeah.
Okay.
But I think the other one did state a lot of the ADA compliance items that are not that are deficient right now and what it would cost to even get them up there.
Well, the question at the town council meeting, one of the statements was, whatever we put out there, it has to be under $1 million, okay?
Right.
I don't see that
We're not even gonna
happening.
get there, because
I
the
don't-
two estimates were above that, and let alone where we need to be for actually making that building operationally for, state and town standards for a town-owned building for the general public to access. You need to have a lot of the ADA compliance in there, and $1 million just wouldn't even get us there.
But it could also, destroy some of the historic accuracy in there. So it's kind of like,
Damned if you do,
yeah,
damned if you don't.
yeah, it's, we all want to preserve it, but gee, how? And to what degree of the historical authenticity we want to go. On the other hand, is the usability of it by the public. Maybe it could be more of a historic building and restricted for public access.
Well, then,
don't know.
one of the things I haven't seen, Art, is what is the operation cost of that building going forward if we do that? We spend the X number of dollars to put the building in a restricted situation, and then we have whatever the ongoing maintenance costs thereafter. And that should be out there for everybody to see, so that what you don't want is, you don't want folks buying a pig in the poke here, okay? And hey, we're only gonna spend $500,000 to get the building in a restricted situation, but then it's gonna cost us $100,000 or $200,000 a year thereafter. I don't think that's where we wanna go.
And some people have said, you don't wanna put lipstick on a pig, that's just gonna get it even worse.
A little more conversation than you wanted, Mr. Chair?
No, this is what we have to talk about, so that's why I brought it up, because
I think it's a start,
so the one thing I think we're missing is information from the state
Oh, yeah.
about what are the benefits, what are the pitfalls, and what grant money is available, what can we do with it, what would be required for us to be able to use this building. I think that would all be good information to have.
And as
So,
well for them to review the newest report that came out.
and as far as I'm aware, it would be free, right? To ask at least, to see if a representative of the state could come, sit with us and just talk through some of this stuff. At a minimum, it just gives us more information and costs nothing, so.
I don't
That
think
to me
you're
seems
talking
like-
about a single entity in the state.
There's got,
The body that does the listing is completely independent of the body that does where grants come from. They come from different places.
so
I
who
think it
would
would also
be,
be handy to have the woman who did the recent investigation of the building come before us too.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Who
mean,
would be-
DHR can tell you about, the listing, but that's all fairly well understood, I think. It's pretty straightforward on the website. It's not a lengthy read. The grant situation depends, it varies from time to time on what money is available, and as we pointed out, at the moment, there's very little money available, so the advantage of being listed would be only to achieve publicity.
I take it you
Keeps
guys
the-
did not
it
see the
keeps
report
the-
that came out
keeps the
in
door
July.
open if you want to.
That's the Argo. Is
Go
that the
for
one?
money.
The Argo, I think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Just making sure you saw that. I can forward that
But,
back to the chairman and have you guys disperse that again if you hadn't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
Because that, I noticed that document's not in our,
yeah, I was just gonna
Bullet
say,
point.
the one that I've seen is this one, and, there were a couple other documents forwarded by the town manager
yeah, back in
that
July.
I was looking
Yeah.
at, but,
I saw that.
okay. So yeah, if you have it available and you can send it out,
Yeah, I'll
appreciate
send it
that.
back to you and so that you can disperse to the,
You can distribute it to all of us. Well, I think it's getting more
Can I-
information is what we need.
Can I send that report to everybody in the commission without a 91A problem?
Yes, you can, as long as there's no comments coming back.
Well, he's the chair, he can.
What you have to do is blind carbon copy,
BCC everybody.
and then put your name in as two. So that keeps us one step away from,
Having a meeting.
having a meeting.
All right.
Could we, at least tonight, and I know there'll be something maybe at that special meeting in October, but what I would propose, there's no motions tonight, so I would propose that the suggested motion that was in our package,
That was for the town council, I think, which is very similar to what
Right.
we'd have to do.
I think that's premature, okay,
Yeah.
at this point. And maybe we can put that off till we've both done whatever investigation, education we have to do. And maybe get, the other guy maybe for October would be Dave Wally, okay?
Yeah, you had mentioned he was supposed to be here tonight to discuss, but because staff was not present, we kind of nixed it. But I wanted to at least get the ball rolling so we could start talking through what we thought we should do, especially since town council has deferred to us to kind of give them guidance.
And it would be nice to know if Dave can do this from the two sets of numbers he's got to minimally open the building. What would the cost be? Maybe that would be a nice number to have. I'm not sure it's the number I put on a warrant article, but it would be good for the group to know.
Yeah, again,
I think you can extract that
Data
from the
is-
Arcove report.
Maybe there's some things in there that could be deferred, okay, to
Yeah.
lessen the impact. That Argo report at 1.2 million, that's, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
1.5, I think.
1.5, you're right.
Yeah,
Wha-
I was talking to John Farrell offline, and he seemed to think that if you can keep it down keep it under $1 million by
Not gonna happen.
making doing sort of things like the structural, and maybe you're gonna do the heating AC to deal with the mold problem, and that you hold off on other things and then take another bite at it in another year.
The problem with that is, we've seen time and time again, if you push things down another year or two, they get even more expensive.
Oh, I agree with you. I'd like to see it done up front, but,
Right. And we've seen it happen
Yeah.
with town buildings and school buildings.
yeah.
They only get more expensive.
I think of the two reports, the Arcove one is a lot more realistic than the Western Sampson report.
the Arcove report is the one that you were just talking
Yeah,
about.
back in July.
Yeah, the restoration of the West Paris Church in East Derry is probably about, now, it's a 15-year project. It's still going on.
15 years.
Yeah. And I mean,
can't imagine how much
they're
that's gonna be
restoring
for
it
it.
to the authentic, history. of
And I
it.
can't imagine how much that's escalated in price over time.
Oh. I'm sure it has significantly.
Yeah, I'd love to see what that original cost was.
Yeah. I mean, and the fundraising still goes on, because the Dairy Fest, they had the booth and everything, to push fundraising, and, I mean, it's one of the things, I mean, we could do here, but we have to have something significant that people, or even to find a benevolent, wealthy individual to
Do you
put money
know what?
into.
The one problem, Art, frankly, with fundraising for this kind of capital is it dries up all the other donation capital in the town for every other thing you might wanna do.
Yep.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, if you've knocked down enough doors trying to, I'll speak from experience, get money to fix the town signs, for example, okay? And you hear, I've already given to this guy, or I already donated to that guy, the well is only so deep.
And then we fail at the warrant article for $10,000 for it.
Amen. Amen.
I couldn't believe that one failed.
Yeah, I can believe that, John, 'cause it's, you're actually dipping from the same pool as everyone else is. So.
Whether people are donating to the Council on the Common, or to the
Yeah.
recreation in town, or something else, this would, as you said, eat up all the rest of that money. And then everything
Yeah,
else would fail.
then I think you get donations, or a big donation, or something, then you could have strings attached to it. That,
Well, those bigger donations are most likely going to the school district.
Yeah.
Didn't we okay a new police sign a while ago? I thought we did, a sign for the police outside, I thought we did, I thought I remembered, no?
The lit sign on the side of the
I
building?
recall,
I thought, yeah, I
something
thought we,
like that.
whatever it was, you know, stone or whatever, to get rid of that.
There was a sign,
There was? Yeah.
there used to be a sign for it.
Well, I mean, no, a new one, so they got rid of that electronic thing, which is,
I think it's been talked about, but nothing
Yeah, I don't
approved.
think, yeah.
I thought I remember seeing with the rocks on the side and police. Well, I guess not.
No, they still have the same lit sign on the side of the building that always has one
I
letter
think she
out.
means down by the road.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Like a
right-
monument,
Yeah.
like a
Where the
monument.
entrance is for the police,
Portable
but,
meshes sign.
which is against the rules, right? We're not supposed to have electronic signs.
But it's town property.
Yeah, town doesn't have to obey the rules. Even
I'm
though
afraid
they
it's gonna
probably
poison other
should set an
people.
example.
Kinda how the police can speed.
Well, the same situation why we approved the electronic sign for the town, school.
School, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we requested no flashing, which was good. That was-
Right, you can only flash once every 24 hours, I think.
Literally? Oh, no. Oh, you're just being funny, or no?
I think that was part of it, because, so they would leave it, would stay consistent, so it wouldn't be changing all the time.
Okay, yep,
So
that's,
they'd have to leave it the same for 24 hours.
All right, so just in the interest of progressing this topic, right? For the October meeting, do we have any suggestions for how we can try to progress this?
I think to
subject?
progress this forward would be to have Mr. Wally come before us, have the woman who provided the ARCO report come for us, and hopefully someone from the state, so that we can get a better clarity upon this building. And any role and significance anymore on the building.
I also have to think, with all the grants and all the grant money that gets provided to people who have listed properties, that there's gotta be, maybe not an authority, but somebody out there
So
that
this woman
has.
from Argo, which is why they came before us from the, committee that was established, they selected her because she had experience with actually finding these grant monies. So, she may know more on the state level, if there is any money left for granting at all, as it was noted in the emails that that whole department was either being eliminated or funded, so.
I think it would be a good start.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, Mark forwarded, you forwarded around an email, didn't you, about state funding things?
Yes.
But basically, what it said was there's very little of anything. I think that the only thing they said that they might fund is something like master plan work, if you wanted to include historic preservation in your master plan.
Yeah, it's very, I think, very little
Yeah.
right now for, 'cause I've talked with Kelly about it, and we're gonna try to get at least what we can do is get a letter of intent in to apply for a grant, but all those grants have to come with a matching, part of it also, so we
Yeah.
have to. That's assuming if we get a grant.
Really don't.
But in the present financial climate, I think it's highly unlikely you'll get any grants, whether or not you're listed.
Yeah,
all right. We'll start with just trying to get people in here to give us information. The more information we have, the better we can try to come to a conclusion. All right, I'll talk to Dave Wally. I'll look up that Argo report. After you send it to me, I'll find the provider. We'll ask her to come in. And I'll look for a state representative to see if somebody's available to come give us information. And if not, we'll deal with what we have. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
close it.
Oh,
Hold. You've got like 30 seconds before
30
people are
seconds,
frothing at
that's
the
all I
mouth,
got,
so.
30 seconds. Next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, February, or whatever the month is, September, October 4, I think that is.
yes.
Beautify Londonderry, townwide cleanup. We're starting out in front of Matthew Thornton School. We'll have free apples for Max for you. If you want to turn out and pick up your street or some street in in town here, great opportunity to bring the kids, the grandkids out, you know, whatever you feel like doing, I just wanna make sure everybody's aware of it.
Again, motion to adjourn.
Oh, yike.
Can I have a second? It's seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.